What's going on, guys? It's Evan from OneIMS. Today I'm going to be giving you 5 tips on how to write better content for SEO purposes. The very first tip I would give would be getting your keyword research on point for traffic driving and conversion driving keywords and making sure they're relevant to your website. Keywords in your content should also feel and sound natural, so it doesn't look like you just stuffed a bunch of keywords into your content, but it actually makes sense. The second tip I would give you for writing better content would be, do people care about my content? Another thing I also would say about this is the content relevant to your website? And users who do care about your content, is it exactly what they're looking for? And are they finding all of the information that they need when they go to your page? Third point I would say was make it long enough to count. And this goes back into my second point when I kind of talked about informative content and is it relevant, and that you can be the one-stop shop for this information, for these frequently asked questions and things like that. People will come back to your site, and even your pages or visit may go up because they'll visit other pages on your site because the page they landed on was very informative. Tip number 4, I think, would be watching your analytics, right? So we want to look at our analytics. What is our page stay time? What is our pages per session? And then most importantly, I would want to look at the bounce rate of this specific page, because this is a long form content page. You're trying to rank very highly for a keyword. We want to, watch this page very tightly and intently, and we want to see what we can do better. And then also, if our bounce rate is high, what's driving them away? Could it be our keywords that are not really relevant to the page or what the search and the user is looking for? Or could it be from a UX perspective, that the page is not easy to navigate, it's not a beautiful design? Multiple things you can look at for this, but keywords is the very most important thing. The first thing I would do, making sure you have the right keywords for the page, and that would make sense for the search as well as for the search engine when finding your page for people. My fifth and final tip would be about page structure, how that page is laid out, and is it chronologically in order with what that, that page is actually about from start to finish, and having all of the content we could use on the page using structure. I have an example of this for you guys that I wanted to share with you. And let's say we're doing car radio repair, and this is a long form page for a website that sells aftermarket car parts, more or less radios, roster kits, backup cameras and stuff. But for this example, I'm just going to be doing car radio repair and kind of a long form page and how we would want to structure that page so you get a better idea of how this would work. So I'd want to have my H1 that maybe would be car radio repair process. Things like that show the whole process so that the user knows when they click this, based upon your title tag, your H1, your meta description, that this is an important and long form page, a one-stop shop. They'll find everything they need, and you'll be the guy for that. So after we have our H1 of car radio repair or car radio repair process, whatever you would choose, we would want to have an H2. The H2 would first want to start with car radios, right? So H2 for me, for example, would be car radio problems. What problems do car radios have? I would have bullet points under that with car radio problems, auxiliary problems, CD ejecting, not playing, Bluetooth disconnecting, things like that are major problems for the car radio repair process. And people are having these problems all the time. And having content under those bullet points of the problems so you rank for these car problems, as well you're ranking this page for car radio repair. And once again, you're the one-stop shop because you have everything you need for this problem in this process. So the third H2 would be about this page as well, and we're just going to keep going down the process. So for example, the third one could be radio repair process for popular car manufacturers. So we have the problems, now we're having the process, and there we could list popular car manufacturers that eventually would link back to a product on your site for a car radio for that specific brand, manufacturer, type of car. Things like that we're interlinking pages, but at the same time, we're still keeping the content informative and long. The fourth thing about structure I would say would be having another H2, and this would be the car radio repair process. So this site had, the H1, the title tag, the meta description. They had, 2 or 3 good H2s about problems, popular manufacturers. And now we're gonna dig into the process of how you would repair a car radio. And this is where you're really advertising your site. You're telling the users about how you would do it, and then they're gonna kind of get more comfortable with you because they've already been on your site, you have all the content they're looking for. Oh, this was really helpful. And that's where you kind of, you bring it all together. You're going in for the hook right there, and you're trying to get them in. And so that's what we would want to do. Again, on the page structure, more near the bottom of the page or the middle of the page. We don't want to hit them with the sale right at the beginning of the page or the process as well. So we kind of want to gain their trust first, and then slowly integrate them into the system and kind of, show them basically what this page is about and what you have to offer. And then, after we have what you have to offer, I would say having a call to action graphic, whether this would be like a CTA, car radio repair process estimate, click now, or whether that's a smaller CTA and then on the other side of the screen you had a tiny contact form, or if you just had a big CTA that was clickable, that would take them to a request a car radio repair estimate. Just something like that to break up the text, but also keep that beautiful design so people like your site, they're not bouncing. After we have the call to action graphic, I would want to have another H2 that would be along the lines of get your car radio repair estimate today, having a few sentences on why to choose so-and-so business, and then what you kind of have to offer and some of your maybe better products, things like that really gain the user's trust. And the point above was talking about the process. You have the CTA, and now you're telling them why to trust you. So they have 2 points there. They have why they should trust you at the end, and then they also have your process as well, so they're more comfortable moving forward, knowing how it's going to work, having some light there and some insight rather than not knowing anything at all. If you have any more questions on writing better content, don't forget to leave a comment below, smash that like button, and we'll see you guys on the next one.